Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and the bishops and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect, the 144,000 men pushing out the word in sincerity and truth, and to the rest of the elect, the 1/3 men, women, and children. To you I say Shalom. So real quick, I just want to share what happened a few hours ago. Right before I went down the street to get some food, I kind of walked down the driveway and I was looking up to the sky, to the heavens. And I was like, man, I need a sign, just in my mind, spiritually just thinking. And I quickly said, like, nah, I don't need a sign. And as soon as I turned my head to the right, there was a chariot, man. And I was immediately filled with emotions, man, joyous emotions, I probably could have even shed a tear because we're living in hell, man. But the Lord is with us, and the Lord is always there for his servants, his sincere servants, man. Even the little things like seeing 144, like 3-4 times in a day. As soon as you turn your head, you see it there and there. These things are very, very joyous things for us, man. These things build up our faith because the Lord has a sense of humor. He does these things on purpose, man. But the fact that I was saying to myself in my mind, I didn't say anything out loud. I'm like, damn, I need a sign. And then I quickly was like, nah, I don't need a sign. But the Lord knows our heart. And the Lord just made a chariot make itself visible while it's moving. And I was just there looking at it and feeling the chills, man. And this thing of ours is very beautiful, man. The Lord is definitely with us. And the first precept I want to read here, actually, let me go real quick because I don't want this to be too long, man. But Kahalal Yahawashi Yahawashi. Okay, and it's this is 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 16, and it says, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So we have nothing to fucking fear but Yahawah Shemel Shai, brethren. Okay, you sincere Akim, pushing the word in sincerity and truth on the highways and the byways, sincere believers of the hopeful elect. We have nothing to fear. Only thing that we need to fear is Yahawah Shemel Shai. We don't need to fear the heathen. We don't need to fear Esau because the battle is already won. We just have to play out our roles in the movie. Okay, that's pretty much all we got to do, and that consists of faith and exercising the patience and your belief in Yahawah Shemel Shai. Okay. And the names, praying and calling on the names. Again, it says, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahawah, I pray thee, open his eyes, and he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And the horses and chariots of fire is referring to the chariots of the Most High, okay? Because it's likened unto fire. You got to understand that the grammar that they use in those days is different than now, okay? And the understanding has increased. Knowledge has increased in these days. So it's referring to the chariots of the Most High, but in abundance, okay? And the Lord opened up the young man's eyes to see it. And that's exactly how what I felt in that moment, because I literally said, man, like, I need a sign, because we're in this walk, we're trying to do the best that we can. We should be doing the best that we can, pleasing Yahawah Shemel Shai, pushing out his word. And sometimes in moments we may feel weak or, the flesh, battling the flesh. So I just said what I said, man. And the Lord gave me that faith builder, man, that reassurance that, hey, look, man, look, Arak, I'm with you. And you know this because it's written in the scriptures. Okay. So that's beautiful, man. And I'll just read it again. And it says, Elisha prayed and said, Yahawah, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahawah opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Okay. So let me just read a few more. This is Psalms chapter 34, verse 7. And it says, the angels of Yahawah encamp around about them that fear him and delivereth them. So the angels of the Lord are the ones that, transport in these chariots, these so-called UFOs. These are the vehicles of the angels. Okay. And the angels are also servants of Yahawah Shemel Shai, as his men in human flesh, in mortal flesh, prophesying to the wind and to the nations and to the hopefully elect and the 1/3 to let everyone know what is to come. Okay? And the Lord set up his angels to protect his saints, to watch over his saints. So it says the angels of the Lord encamp. Let me get this in the BLB just to get that word encamp. The angels of the Lord are always around, man. And they make themselves visible and invisible. Okay? And they make themselves visible in some very, very, very spiritual conversations or gathering with brethren at times. I remember recently it happened when me and a few brothers were talking about some spiritual things, man. So, brotherly things and experiences, and that happened. And I don't take these things lightly, man. Those things are confirmations. Anyways, it says, let me read this once more. Verse 7 says, the angel of Yahawah encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So let's get that word encampeth. All right? Because there's always edification in words. So it says, encamp. Let me see what the lexicon says here. Okay. All right. Besiege, camp, let down, word, tabernacle. To defend anything. Okay. This is a good one. To the example B here, it says to defend anything, and this thing is the elect. The angel encamp around the elect to protect and also to defend them if necessary. Okay, so Yahawah has his angels giving them instructions to watch over his servants. All right, so we got nothing to worry about, man. If you sincerely believe in Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawashi, there's nothing you need to worry about. Only thing you need to worry about is doing his work. All right. I could just read, it's in the same verse. So let me skip down to verse 15 and I'll close. And it says, the eyes of Yahawah are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. Okay. So in that moment as well, in my head, I was just saying something through I was just saying something, but it was all through the spirit, because I was like, damn, I need a sign. Just in that moment, man. That's a cry in itself. And the Lord heard it, man. And the Lord just made a chariot appear in my peripheral, in my vision. When I looked immediately to the right, I just looked up. I just turned my eyes to the right because I was looking at a star before, what appears to be a star. But I also believe that was a chariot as well. But then when I immediately stopped looking at that and I looked to the right, there was a chariot moving, man. And again, the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. Let's read it in the NLT. The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. And we all hope that we do right, man, because we do fall short. Okay? None of us are perfect. Paul speaks about that, man. Being in the flesh, you're gonna make mistakes, man. You're gonna fall short. However, we keep going. A just man falls 7 times, but gets back up. Roughly paraphrasing. Fucking Satan. I'm gonna just read it once more and just close. But call halal Yahawashi Yahawashi, man. So this is verse 15 once more in the NLT, though. It says, the eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help. And as I said before, man, I was filled with joy, a lot of emotions, man. A lot of emotion. This thing is real. You know, we got men out there that they really don't believe. You know, their faith gets weak, you know, and they might be doubting certain things. But when your faith is weak, the Lord doesn't show you signs. And the Lord shows you signs in different ways. He gives you